Happy New Year! Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me on my journey to the Brisbane Olympics in 2032. Now, for those of you that don't know me, my name is Zach, and I am a below average runner. Now, in today's video, I want to go through a recap of the whole of the last 12 months, the first year, season 1, 2025, of my journey to get to the Olympics. I am so thankful to everyone that has joined me so far since I started uploading to YouTube. Now, I think we're at about 150 subscribers. Oh, I never expected to get to this point. I'm so glad to have all 150 of you. Now, if you are new to the channel and you haven't subscribed, press that subscribe button. Let's get to that 1,000 subscribers and let's hit the monetization. Help me get some, gels. Help me get some chews. Help me get some more race entries. Every little dollar helps get to that next stage in my running journey. Now on that, so I do actually sell some training plans on Training Peaks, very similar sort of training to what I do at the moment. If you would like to do similar training to what I do, there's a link in the description below. And if you use the code YouTube2025 on any of my plans, you get 25% off. However, if you are a Patreon supporter, it's $2 a month. It's not that much. You get 50% off any of my training plans. So do make sure you check out that link in the description below if you would like to help support the channel grow further. With that said and done, let's get right into everything that has happened over the last 12 months. So first up, let's start off at looking at what the video released yesterday. So yesterday I released the video that went into my goals for the times that I want to set for specific distances. So let's have a look at that now. For 2025, for the 5K distance, I would like to go below 25 minutes. In the 5K, as you can see, I want to set a time of 25 minutes. I made that. There we did. Let's have a look at that run right now. So that run was part of a 5K park run that I did back on the 6th of December. And so I did it here in Coombs. Let's see if we can get the graph up. Here it is. You can see it's quite a lumpy park run. There's a bit of gravel in it as well. Now this has got me doing 5K in about 25:03. However, the park run itself has me at 24:55. So as far as I'm concerned, I hit it. I hit my 5K time for the goal for the year. Sub 25 minutes, 24:55. Keen on that. My next goal was a 10K. And as you can see in this video now, let's play it. For the 10K distance, I would like to break 52 minutes. So my 10K goal my 10K goal for the year was a sub 52 minutes. Now, I didn't actually make that. So I did this run the day after the park run. And so I did it here in Goulburn, and I did it on a very hilly course. As you can see here, up, down, up, down, up, down, just around the local park, Victoria Park. Now, there's about 150 meters of elevation, so it was very hilly, about a 1.5% gradient. But I managed to complete that in about it was the best time of the year, but 52:50. So I was about 50 seconds off, or about 5 seconds per K. Yes, I know I didn't hit my goal, but next time we are on form. It was 150 meters of elevation over 10K. It was a very hilly course. I did do that on purpose, but I wanted to make it more realistic for the sort of running that I do. I want to do hilly runs. I'm looking forward to my race later in August, where I'm in Sydney. And I think there's about 400 meters of elevation in that race for that marathon. And so I got to get ready. I got to get the legs prepared to go hard on the hilly courses. So yes, I was short by about 50 seconds, but I think realistically, if I had a flat course, which most people would have done, it would have been, it would have been set. I would have done it. Next goal I had was in the half marathon. Let's play the video here. For the half marathon, I would like to break 2 hours. And as you can see, I wanted to go sub 2, which I achieved. Now I achieved that back in the Canberra half marathon, which I did that over here on the 2nd of November. This is the third half marathon that I've ever done. So my first one was in Tasmania. I did that as part of a triathlon of 70.3, and I set about a 2:15 time. I then did a Goldman half marathon back in October, so it probably actually would have been about maybe 2 weeks after I filmed that video that had my goals for the year. And then I did this one, and you can see my all-time best, 158.09. It's the timing chip actually says 159.09. It's about a minute slower than this, but still, 159 is sub 2. So I'm super happy with that goal. We made it. Onwards and upwards. 2026, we're going to go harder. We're going to go faster. We're going to smash it. We're going to make it to where I need to be. Now, it's not just times that I've had goals for. What I also want to go through today is I want to go through my training, and I want to go through my holistic sort of how it's been going all year. So let's have a quick look at my weight, because I started off as an obese runner. So when I started the year, I was about 98 kilos. In March, I got up to about 100 kilos. I'm now down to 94. So if you can have a look over here, so you can see my weight. So you see I started off about 97.5 on the 1st, peaked at 100.5 in mid-March. So if you go from the peak to where I'm at now, I'm 94. So what's that, 6.5 kilos in 9 months? Or you can say I started off here and it's 3.5 kilos. But either way, I've gone from being obese at the start of this journey to now I'm just overweight. I still realistically have another 30 kilos that I could lose over the next couple of years. So I started off back when probably my lowest weight when I was an adult. So when I was a cyclist, I spent some time at the AIS as part of an altitude study, and I got down to about 60 kilos. So I was an adult, so 19, 20 roughly. So in my adult life, I have got down to 60 kilos. Now, as I can show here, I was 94. I am 94. So there was still a good 30 kilograms that I could lose, and I would not be like underweight. I would not be unhealthy. It would still be something that I could perform at. Now, probably my goal weight is in the, let's say, 68 to 70 kilogram range. So let's say I get to 70, that's 24 kilos. Now, that is still roughly about a third of my body in fat, which quite a large amount. But in order to get there, I have a kind of a methodology. I love my spreadsheets. So let's have a look at this one here. So I've got my weight set here. So you can see 94 is what I'm at now. And what I'm tracking is I want to lose roughly 0.45 kilograms, 450 grams every month. Now, if you look at the graph here, you can see it's down and up. It's, it does track roughly the trend. I'm a little bit heavier than I really want to be. So I want to be 93.85, but I'm 94. So it's a little bit here and there. But you can see ultimately it's very slow gradual decline, and it lowers at 67.5 in the end of 2030. So realistically, I'm looking to lose weight for another, 4 or 5 years. So it's a long-term journey. It is not something I'm expecting to do tomorrow. I think it would actually be more detrimental to my training to lose so much weight in such a short period. I would rather lose it slowly, steadily, do a full body reconstruction and keep all my muscle, build all my muscle, and make it to that level. While we're also looking at my spreadsheet, so what I actually want to do is I look at my training. So I am a very data heavy runner. So this has got literally every single run I do. Let's go here. So you can see I've got all these different columns. So I could track power, heart rate, speed, ground contact time, stride length, and cadence. Everything is linked. Now, my most important one is power, speed, well, probably just power and speed. All these three, so ground contact time, stride length, and cadence, they're all kind of linked. Well, cadence, stride length, and speed definitely linked. And that is actually something we'll talk about a bit later. But power and speed is probably the most important ones that I follow. So let's have a look at this. So you can see these trend lines here. So this dot plot is my speed. So what I've also done is I have plotted in sort of paces that I want to do at the end. So this is the Olympic marathon here, and this is set to a 2:45 per K. But what you can see here is if I continue along this trend, not only will a 2:45 be achievable, probably that's what, 30 seconds, maybe even a bit more, possibly even a 2 minutes per K, which is not realistic. There's no way anyone is doing 2 minutes per K for a marathon, but that is what it's showing. Based on my current projection, I'll be able to do 2 minutes per K. Now this here is probably a little bit earlier, but this is probably where I want to qualify. And this is at 3:15 per K. So what it says is not only can I achieve 3:15 per K, I will be fast enough to go faster than 3:15. That will be my relaxing pace. That will be my recovery pace. Will that actually be what happens? I don't know. We'll have to see. We will have to see. But this is what I'm tracking. This is what I'm using to show how I'm going. Now, in relation to speed, so speed is a factor of how heavy you are. The course details are how much elevation up and down you go, as well as how much power you put in. So power is the biggest factor in determining pace. So that's what this trend line here. And as you can see, power has been going up and it goes up exponentially. Just like pace goes down as an exponential down, power is an exponential up. The faster I go, the more power I need. So what this is saying is that in order to hit this, let's say it's 2:45, what it thinks is I'm actually going to be doing probably close to 1,000 watts, which at the moment, if you have a look at what I did this morning, so this morning I did 261 watts at my tempo pace. 261 is 620 per K. But 260 watts is nowhere near 1,000 watts. Significantly smaller. So what this spreadsheet is showing is that I need to go up 4 times. I need to go from 250 to 1,000. This is a little bit, I'm not going to say it's incorrect, but it's a bit inaccurate. So let me show you a run that I did on the weekend, because that is exactly what I need to do. I did a few sprints. Now at the moment, these are really sprints, they're 20 seconds all out. And what I did was, you can see 243 per K, 205 steps for 491 watts. So 243 is what I really need to do in order to be the best. But that's 490 watts. 490 watts is not 1,000. It's significantly smaller. So if I can push 500 watts, I think that is what I need to do. But as I said a little bit earlier, power and weight are related. Running power and cycling power are not fully, they're similar, but they're not exactly the same. So if I can continue doing if I can do 500 watts, I think that will be enough for me to get the win. Now, if I were to drop my weight, it will actually drop the amount of power that I need to put out. So that 490 is based on my current weight of about 94 kilos. If I can drop it down to 70 kilos, I don't need to do 500 watts. That will actually be closer to, even if let's say we're a bit more pessimistic. So instead of 500 watts, let's say it's 450. Now at the moment, my threshold is 350 watts. So I need to rise by 100 watts over the next 6 years. 100 watts, so over 6 years, at 50 weeks, that's 300 weeks. So I can do 0.3 watts increase in my threshold per week. 0.3 watts, that's nothing. That is tiny. Now, if I'm actually more realistic, let's say that that 500 watts is actually, when I'm at 70 kilos, is actually 400 watts. 400 watts is 50 watts more than my threshold. So realistically, I don't need to go up 100 watts, I need to go up 50 watts. That's why I need to focus on building my muscle. Keep that muscle while losing the fat. Because 400 watts is very realistic in 6 years. Now, this is a bit of a hot take. I don't care about pace. Pace, as I've said so many times, pace fluctuates based on the terrain, whether you're going up, whether you're going down, whether you're on, gravel, whether you're on dirt roads. It depends on whether you're doing into a headwind. It depends on whether you've got a tailwind. Depends whether you're running with others. Uh, there's so many variances that affect pace. Power, however, is a lot more consistent. If I can ensure I always train to power and I can make sure I'm doing the exact sessions, I do the exact tempo, the exact thing to improve my power, pace will follow. And so that's exactly what I'll be doing in the coming year. Focusing on power, building that threshold, getting to that sub 3 minute per K to hit that goal. So when it does come to my training, how have I structured it over the year? Now I've done basically the exact same session week in, week out. So let's have a look here. And so you can see I've got a pretty, you can see the growth in distance, and time as well. But realistically, I've done almost the exact same session. 1.5 hour easy, 1.5 hour easy, 1.5 hour envelope. So envelope is basically a tempo run, 1.5 hour minute envelope, what I did today. The only real changes has been what I've done in the weekends and my threshold work. So I started out doing 5 by 2 minutes, and on Monday I did 9 by 8. So what I've done is I started by increasing the amount of intervals, and then I also increased the time of each interval. In just a minute, we'll go look at the actual sessions, see how it's changed over the week. But you can see it's all about consistency. There are a few weeks where I was sick or wasn't able to complete sessions. So you can see in the start of the year, I had to skip these ones, and then I had to skip these two, and then I was sick for a whole week. And then I had to skip a few sessions here. But overall, I think the biggest thing that's contributed to my performance improvements is consistency. Running almost every single day, every single week, slowly, steadily increasing the mileage, increasing the pace, increasing the burden. Slowly and steadily, 1% improvements. Now you can see just before Canberra half, I peaked at a 2.5 hour easy run. Now that's what I'm doing this weekend. But actually, interestingly enough, so while I can't count it for this year, it's going to be my first over 100k week ever. Like, I think when I first started running, when I got to about 40, so you're talking March, end of March, start of May, that was my biggest week ever. And so now I'm more than double. I'm 2.5 times what used to be my previous biggest week. So significant improvements by focusing on what's important and building up the pace, building up the distance. As I said earlier, let's have a look at some of the actual sessions. So as I said, I did a tempo run this morning. And so you can see, we'll just have a look at the tempo section. So I did it was an hour, 80 minutes, but then I actually did a few pickups here. But the main portion, let's say it's an hour at 6 minutes per K. So you can see my heart rate is 139 beats per minute. So my zone 2 is from 128 to 148. So this is, realistically, this is a zone 2 run. I want to make it zone 3, but just the way it's at the moment is that I can actually perform better on the road than I do on the treadmill. I've got set paces and it is what it is. But let's compare this 602 for 140 to what I did at the start of the year, because you will see that it is actually significantly different. So it doesn't really matter which one I pick. So this one here is in Feb. We're just going to pick for this section here, so the main block. So 153 beats per minute. So already it is 14 beats higher than what I did today, and it is over a minute. It's 1 minute 18 seconds per K slower. It's only 10 minutes. It's 10 minutes slower, higher heart rate. So you can see the consistency is allowing me to go faster for longer, for less intense on my body. My body's able to handle these paces, which it could not do earlier. Now, that was, as I mentioned, let's actually look at the intervals. So what I was doing, so I did 6 minutes per K today. That's what I was doing at the start of the year for 2 minutes. Now I'm doing that really chill for an hour plus. So when I'm doing my intervals today, in the last couple of weeks, I am significantly longer. Instead of doing 5 by 2 minutes, at 6 minutes per K, I'm now doing 9 by 8 minutes, which is 72 minutes of intensity at 5 minutes per K. A minute per K faster, but, 7 to 8 times longer at that intensity. That's what happens when you're consistent. You go faster, you go longer, but for less effort. Now my easy run, let's have a look at the easy run back then. So we're starting here, 840 per K, 434 beats per minute. So well in the, the zone 2, 200 watts for 840 per K. Whereas today, what I did yesterday, here we are, 234 watts, so 35 watts higher, 706, so a minute 30 per K faster, but it's 10 beats per minute lower. It is easier, it is faster, and we're doing it for longer. That is the gains I want, and that is the gains I'm going to continue making, not just next year, the year after, for the next 6.5 years till the Brisbane Olympics. That is what we're doing. We are going to get those gains. Now I showed the intervals just a bit before, and you can see I'm doing 8-minute intervals, 1500 meters, 300 watts, 510 per K, 444 beats per minute. So I'm going faster for easier, for longer. It is what I did here in this 8-minute section is almost what I did for that whole 10 minutes in there. So one interval here in December is the same as what I was doing for the whole session back in January. Those are the gains that you need to make in order to get to that next step. Now, I'm nowhere near where I need to be. This is, as I've said, this is season 1. We are just starting. We are nowhere near the pinnacle. I cannot wait to see what next year is going to bring up. When we look at my training across the whole year, let's bring it up on intervals. And so you can see now it's easy zone 2 threshold here. Now what it's saying is that I've done 307 hours of training. So 307 hours is roughly about 6 hours per week, and 6 hours gets me 2400K. Oh yeah. I think my smallest week for next year is going to be about 10 hours, maybe a bit less. But it's already showing I'm going to be doing over 5,000 kilometers of running next year. I'm so keen. I wonder how much I can do the year after and the year after that. Now you can see it's saying that I'm in base. I don't know. It's not 100% correct. It's based on my current FTP, and then it's back calculated for all the other ones. I have increased my power over the year, so it's probably not exact. Probably doing more of the threshold, which is probably more in zone 3 than base and zone 2, zone 5 I mean. But I'm definitely not doing like high zone 5s. Like you can see when I look at my threshold work here, this is my hardest that I'm going. But there's really like nothing. It's like 1% in zone 4 and above. It's all like tempo and sweet spot. And I think this is also another key thing is the Norwegian method is really kicking off as being super, not Norwegian method, what is it? Norwegian singles. Norwegian singles has been really praised by a lot of people, a lot of runners. But that's the sort of intensity that a lot of these people are doing is sweet spot. That is what's key, is the zone 3 work. Now, I actually do have plans of making a video on the Norwegian singles method and how it relates to my training. If you guys do want to watch that, make sure you subscribe because that will be coming out in the next couple of weeks. And I really appreciate every single one of you, every single view you guys give me, every single like, every single comment. Honestly, it is so awesome seeing you guys. I really appreciate every single one of you. And I'm really looking forward to January 2026. Really looking forward to season 2. Really looking forward to seeing what is going to happen. Thank you guys so much for watching. This is probably the longest video I will do ever. Well, I'm going to do another video like this every single year, recapping how we've gone, recapping the journey, and seeing if we are on track to hit that goal, see if we're on track to hit the Olympics. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys on the next one.